Greetings, my fellow free and loves of sovereign thinkers. This is LL3's newest podcast. My name is Craig, and I'm transmitting from the beautiful foresty / prairie northeast section of the Lone Star State, which is known as Texas. Paris, Texas to be exact. Doing my little road trip. And I'll probably be heading out to Albuquerque by tomorrow. So just to let you know, I'm alive and well. And hopefully everyone's doing okay at this time. Today's date is June 5th, 2014. And today I'm going to be discussing a few topics. And just to let you know, tomorrow is the 70th anniversary of D-Day on June 6th. 1944. So, for all the men that fought and served to spread freedom, to fight oppression during that horrific day, I give them my homage, eternal homage, and many of them, may their souls be forever free. Alright, well, today I'm going to be addressing a few topics once again. I think I repeated myself. And this one was done on Political.com by Josh Gerstein. I like how he says, on the courts, transparency, and more. And this actually is entitled, Judge Orders Feds to Preserve Surveillance Data. And it came out, around 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And as it reads, a federal judge affirmed Thursday that the U.S. government must preserve records of national security agency surveillance relevant to ongoing lawsuits challenging the legality of the practice, including data gathered under a controversial provision allowing harvesting of foreigners' U.S.-based email and social media accounts. Acting on a request from the Electronic Frontier Foundation, U.S. District Court Judge Jeffrey White said evidence about the government's use of Section 702 is relevant to the case and must be preserved. Defendants are ordered not to destroy any documents that may be relevant to the claims at issues in this action, including Section 702 material, where I wrote in his order posted here. So there's a link to that. The judge issued his order Thursday afternoon, just minutes after the EFF told the court that government lawyers had informed lawyers for some of those challenging the surveillance that destruction of the web evidence was continuing even though the erasure of so-called telephone metadata was being preserved indefinitely. In communications with the government this week, plaintiffs learned to their surprise that the government is continuing to destroy evidence relating to the mass interception of internet communications it is conducting under Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA. This would include evidence relating to its use of splitters to conduct bulk interceptions of the content of internet communications from the internet backbone network of AT&T. EFF lawyers wrote in a motion, which is a link to that. Once again, the government has apparently secretly and unilaterally reinterpreted its obligations under the court's evidence preservation orders without notice to the court or to the plaintiffs. It has determined that it need not engage in preservation of relevant evidence. EFF lawyers asked for the hearing on the issue Friday and requested a temporary restraining order blocking destruction of the so-called 702 evidence. White, who sits in San Francisco, did not immediately grant the request for a hearing. However, he did order the government to submit a written explanation of its position by noon Pacific time on Friday. So it'll be 3 p.m. Eastern time. A Justice Department spokesman declined to comment for this post. However, department lawyers responded to the court Thursday evening asking to stay the new preservation order and warning that saving all web data currently stored under 702 provision could mean halting such surveillance altogether. Undersigned counsel have been advised by the National Security Agency that compliance with the June 5th, 2014 order would cause severe operational consequences for the National Security Agency, national security mission, including the possible suspension of the Section 702 program and potential loss of access to lawfully collected signals, intelligence information on foreign intelligence targets that is vital to NSA's foreign intelligence mission. The government attorneys wrote in their filing posted here, which is a link. The response argued that the complexity of the technical and operational issues involved in preserving the web data is significantly greater than with the preservation of Section 2015 telephony metadata. Lawyers for the NSA said they would explain the operational problems Friday in greater detail. EAF responded with yet another filing on its own, which is a link to that, arguing that since March 10th, the government has been on notice of the need to preserve such material, so there can be no emergency now requiring the suspension of that obligation. It is not credible that, as the government contends, simply refusing to destroy during the next 18 hours of the communications has its intercepted will cause the possible suspension of the Section 702 program. How can the preservation of these intercepted communications cause a loss of access to lawfully collected signals intelligence information? The EFF filing asked. That information will remain accessible even though that is being preserved. The U.S. government uses the 702 authority has prompt criticism overseas because it allows broad collection of foreigners' communications without specific court approval. Critics have also noticed that it is domestic privacy impact because communications by and about U.S. citizens are often swept up in the broad surveillance of foreigners' accounts. The U.S. government says it generally removes the names of U.S. citizens and permanent residents from reports of such surveillance before those reports are distributed. However, the names are maintained and some under some circumstances disclosed. There are also concerns that officials can use the products of 702 surveillance to conduct searches for data about Americans and may use 702 to conduct backdoor surveillance on U.S. nationals when officials lack probable cause for a warrant. Yeah, it was just updated today. So, it's so funny. I just get a big kick out of it. Good thing about it, at least the judge says, they have to hold the files, which is good. As far as I'm concerned, it's public information for the people of the United States, because who's paying the tab for the NSA? The people of the United States of America with their tax dollars. So I don't know why they want to do all these hiding stuff from the people, and of course the foreign agents. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to add a link to that on the plaintiff's opposition to government's emergency motion to stay in court. There's a court order for that, and I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to look it up right now. The FISA law, or is this a FISA law? Yeah. So I'm gonna add that to this article as well, so you can at least get a nice little earful, yeah, because it is irrelevant. So I'm doing that right now as we speak. Just gonna do my little search. Yeah, it's from 1978 to be exact. Yeah, alright. I will use, which one I'm gonna be using? It will be, GPO.gov. Yeah, I'm gonna be using that because that came out since 1978. Can I use that one? Oh, absolutely. 16 pages long. That's perfect. So I'm going to be using that to the link as well. So I'm going to move this along right in here. Alright, cool. So I'm going to add all those links to it, and it'll be so you at least get a more clarification as far as I'm concerned. The foreign intelligence surveillance like in 1978 overall is nothing more than a monumental deception. And I like when he made that statement about, oh yeah, we will remove the citizens who are usually swept, like omit them and the foreign and the permanent residents. You know what? I don't buy it one bit, because you always got criminal elements in those entities. They're going to try to keep it for themselves. It may be scrapped, but they can pick it up and recycle it for their own well-being. What I mean by recycling, grab it, make it look pretty, and keep it in their own personal files. So I give the EFF a lot of credit for this, man. It's awesome. And when you have a chance, they have a website, EFF.org. Check them out. And throw some money at them, too, while you're at it. Give them a little love. Because, hey, we all got to fight for a free internet worldwide. Not just the United States, but the world. Okay, well, the next thing I'm going to be hitting here is by a good colleague of mine, actually a pen pal, by Michael Snyder from endoftheamericandream.com. And it's entitled, Obama's War on Coal is Going to Kill Jobs and Sent Electricity Rates Skyrocketing. And it came out today, as it reads. When Barack Obama was running for president in 2008, he stated that under his plan, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket. Well, now it looks like he's finally getting around to keeping his promise. New EPA rules that are designed to cripple the coal industry could send electricity rates soaring by up to 40% in many rural areas. Even though we have enough coal in the ground to provide hundreds of years of energy at current levels of consumption, Obama's number of coal plants to completely shut down because they are simply going to become too expensive to operate. If Americans living in rural communities didn't care for Obama before, they are going to like him much when these new EPA regulations start kicking in. Hooray for the bureaucrats. Thank you, feds. Thank you, feds. Threw me in, then my deathbed. You know, I'm being a little sarcastic, but that's how I feel about these yahoos like the EPA. You know, I usually call it a epileptic pissing alliance. You know, that's just my forte, what I think about them. So I will proceed. Most people don't remember this, but Barack Obama was very clear about what he intended to do to the coal industry even before he was elected at the first time. According to facting check site PolitiFact, Obama did tell San Francisco Chronicle that electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket if he had his way. It didn't take us long to find Barack Obama's original quote, which came from a videotaped interview he did with the San Francisco Chronicle editorial board very early in the presidential campaign in January 2008. Under my plan of a cap-and-trade system, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket. Obama told the Chronicle, coal power plants, natural gas, you name it, whatever the plants were, whatever the industry was, they would have to retrofit their operations. That will cost money. They will pass that money on to consumers. Yep, I don't know if he got that from his secret admirer or his little puppet master, Rahm Emanuel, or from the teleprompter. I don't know. Fortunately, political expediency and the Republicans in Congress have blocked a lot of what Obama intended to do up until now. But at this point, Obama is a lame duck president that does not have another election to worry about. So he can start pushing a lot of things that he may have been hesitant to do so before for political reasons. Unfortunately, this little pet project of Obama's is going to end up costing millions of U.S. consumers a lot of money. In fact, it is being projected that new EPA rules could raise electricity in some rural areas by up to 40%. At least 6 electric cooperative utilities across the U.S. Mid and Southwest could raise electricity rates up to 40% if the Environmental Protection Agency imposes new permitting regulations on coal-fired power plants. The regulations will cost Desert Power Electric Cooperative DPEC $200 million to install advanced equipment to qualify for the Clean Air Act Title V permit. DEPC is made up of 6 rural electricity cooperatives that serve more than 45,000 customers in Utah, Nevada, Wyoming, and Colorado. Rural cooperatives have been heavily opposed to excessive EPA regulations targeting coal plants, which they said raise rates for their customers. Can we say neo-mercantilism? Remember that, folks. Neo-mercantilism. I will proceed. Ouch. And it turns out that Obamacare for the air is going to be far more harsh than many Obama's toughest critics even anticipated. Administrator Mike McCarthy's draconian proposals are turning out to be even worse than many critics expected. In May 30th, commentary of the Cato Institute's Dr. Patrick J. Michaels, who is past president of the American Association of State Climatologists and Research of the Environmental Sciences at the University of Virginia for 30 years, speculated that the new regulations would most likely require a 20% reduction in allowable carbon dioxide emissions. The only way this will be possible, he said, will be upgrading almost all combustion units, and the ultimate cost of the upgrades will make coal non-competitive with much less expensive natural gas-fired facilities. But lo and behold, when McCarthy released the new regulatory proposal, it was far worse, mandating a 30% reduction in CO2 emissions. Climate change, fueled by carbon pollution, supercharges risk to our health, our economy, and our way of life, EPA Administrator Gina McCarthy said, is announcing the Obama administration's Clean Power Plan. This plan will clean the air we breathe while helping slow climate change so we can leave a safe and healthier future for our kids. I will move on here. But this is not just the cleaner air. The truth is that is what Obama always attended, a war on coal. For example, back in 2008, candidate Obama made the following statement regarding coal. So if somebody wants to build a coal plant, they can. It's just that it will bankrupt them because they're going to be charged a huge sum for all that the greenhouse gases that's being emitted. And a key environmental advisor to Obama, Professor Daniel Schrag, said the following during an interview with the New York Times. Politically, the White House is hesitant to say they are having a war on coal. On the other hand, a war on coal is exactly what's needed. This is extremely unfortunate because we have enough coal to help meet our energy needs for a very, very long time. According to an article by William F. Jasper, the federal government admits that we have enough coal to last us approximately 250 years. According to the Federal Energy Information Agency, EIA, 45% of the country's annual 4 trillion kilowatt hours of electricity are generated from coal. And says the EIA, we have demonstrated reserve base of 496 billion short tons of coal, of which 272 billion tons are considered recoverable with current technology, with U.S. usage at 1.1 billion tons per year. We have about 250 years supply at the present rate of consumption. But instead, these new EPA regulations are going to force coal plants to shut down all over the nation, and the rest will be forced to raise rates substantially. According to Reuters' article from last year, it was being projected that more than 200 coal plants would be shut down in the United States over the next decade. And now that these new EPA regulations are much harsher than anticipated, it is inevitable that the number of coal plants that will end up closing will be much higher than that. At the time when the U.S. economy is already struggling, this is something that we don't need. In the end, thousands of good jobs will be lost, and U.S. consumers will be shelling out millions of dollars for electricity than they otherwise should have, thanks to Obama's war on coal. Hopefully, someone out there will fight these regulations while there is still time to do so. I have to agree completely. And based on the technology with these coal facilities, they made so many improvements on filtering, and they're doing it out of their own pocket. Why are you going to have some bureaucrats like the Environmental Protection Agency, which they're real pathetic in my opinion? They need to be, as far as I'm concerned, they need to be shut down. Because if you're going to go around harassing all the coal industries in the state, I think every sheriff or governor tell them, get the hell out of here or we'll throw your asses in jail. It's time for a 10th Amendment stance within the United States to tell the EPA, you're not shutting down our coal plants. You get the hell out or I will arrest you for trespassing or extortion. What is it? That's how I have to see about those yahoos. Bunch of ungrateful parasites. And of course, I hear Debbie Wasserman Schultz supports it.
One turn little nose, like, hi, I'm Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and I'm a Kazarian Gino from the 22nd District.
Oh, they got 23rd, something like that, from Florida. But she's like jumping on that bandwagon because her attributes are really weak. I'm sorry, I am not pleased when I hear that woman speak. It's worse than a cartoon character. But the truth of the matter is, this is nothing more than a mind-meld deception and saying that neo-mercantilism lives. I recommend this. Obama, keep out. Let the market, let the competitive market open, and you know what? The end of supply and all that will go down. Don't screw with people's livelihoods. All right, we don't need another man who wants to have a NAFTA agenda on steroids. And, you know, if you're going to refute me, I know you need your teleprompter because you can't even think for yourself. All right. Next one here is actually from John Rappaport on his website, nomorefakenews.com. It came out today as well, June 5th. And it's entitled, Obamacare, Watch Out. Here comes predictive modeling. As it reads, modeling or programming. A Media.com article, Why is Predictive Modeling Essential to Healthcare? Offers this quote. The algorithms of predictive modeling can analyze hundreds of data points to make a diagnosis or a prediction of risk. This is a new thing in American medicine and everyone is climbing on board. The idea is to combine a diverse set of data to diagnose a patient and also predict what illnesses will strike designated sectors of the population by identifying what social, economic, gender, and behavioral groups they belong to. Oh yes, in the USA population sector A-2AB, we can view the health records of 10,000 patients who are single under 30, live at home with their parents, have a history of ignoring medical advice, displaying symptoms of ADHD, graduated college with less than a 3.0 grade average, have taken prescription pain meds within the last 5 years. According to statistics, this group stands a better than 65% chance of developing clinical depression within the next 6.23 years. Therefore, we should prescribe them prophylactic antidepressants now to save money on more expensive treatments later. If we utilize our algorithm and adjust code 4AQ1 and code 7B2EX, we'll be able to pinpoint which patients in this group need medication immediately. This is coming. The structure is being built now all across medical and insurance organizations. The herborist involved is outstanding, to say nothing of intrusion on privacy, and the recent abysmal track record of government merely trying to sign people up for Obamacare. Of course, the proponents of prediction are promising better patient outcomes money dollar saving in a brave new world in which at-risk groups can be spared suffering before it occurs. Managed Care has published an article, More Data in Healthcare Will Enable Predictive Modeling Advances. Here are two key quotes. Predictive modeling, PM, has grown to be a linchpin of care management, health plans, integrated delivery systems, and other healthcare organizations, HCOs, increasingly channel their patients to interventions based in part on what they deduce from predictive models that have traditionally been run against databases of administrative claims in this arena. Affordable Health Care Act, ACA, Obamacare is likely to exert a profound effect, growing a number of healthcare experts, including the Care Continuum Alliance, see predictive modeling as an opportunity to prevent disease, complications, control hospital readmissions, generate more precise diagnoses and treatments, predict risk, and control costs for a more diverse array of population segments than previously attempted. I could attack this gobbledygook PR in a number of ways, but I'll cut to the real bottom line. The entirety of predictive modeling rests on the assumption that in making disease and mental disorder diagnosis, doctors are basically working from a correct playbook. Otherwise, they could message data till the cows come home and they would commit disastrous blunder after blunder. But the basic playbook is not correct. For all 300 officially certified mental disorders, there are in fact no defined physical tests for diagnosis. None. No more blood tests, no more urine tests, no brain scans, no genetic assays. Woo! That's what we got to say about all hail to fascistic healthcare. I proceed. For germ-caused diseases and tried and true diagnostic tests are completely misleading. The antibody tests are frequently false positive, and the presence of antibodies in the first place merely indicates that the patient has contacted the germ in question. It says nothing about the present or future illness. In fact, antibody tests often means the opposite of illness. The patient's immune system has contacted the germ and thrown it off. The PCR diagnostic test takes a tiny amount of what is purported to be a genetic material from a germ and amplifies it many times so it can be observed. But the hallmark of illness, when germs may be involved at all, you have millions of particular bacteria or virus being very active, in which case you didn't need the PCR test in the first place. You need the PCR because you couldn't find enough germ material in the patient to knock over a fly. So place these irrelevant and misleading diagnostic tests into the predictive modeling framework, and what do you get? False predictions. Then there are medical drugs. I've cited the Starfield Review many times. July 26, 2000, Journal of the American Medical Association. Is the U.S. health really the best in the world? Dr. Barbara Starfield from the Johns Hopkins School of Public Health pointed out every year in the U.S., FDA-approved medicines killed 106,000 people. In our 2009 interview, Starfield told me this was a conservative estimate. This is a tragedy and murder on a massive scale, supported by what have to be deceitful, glowing studies done on the drugs and routinely published in the leading medical journals. Not one in his right mind believed that all this lying and crime embedded in a new advanced predictive model would produce anything expanded disaster, with bonus that you will lose your medical privacy and your observed and data mind in other ways as a unit that belongs to various groups. And oh yes, You can get toxic drugs before you're sick. It's predictive. Hail to the chief, up the line, proponent of traditional natural health, nutritional supplements, and alternative practices. Will discover that as independent humans, they're anomalies. Excuse me. I got that right. The official algorithms don't include what they do to maintain health. Therefore, they're outliers. Sorry, we can't model you in our predictions. You don't compute. You're illegal. Oh, wait. You do fit in one category. Threat. Potential danger to the state. That was from John Rappaport. I like that. A little sarcasm there, but it's understandable because the truth of the matter is the whole Affordable Care Act is nothing more than a sham, big time. Okay? And I was at that town meeting a while back in Fort Lauderdale when Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz talked about how great it was. And people asked her a bunch of questions. All she did was spewed rhetoric. Their biggest mistake was they should have had the documents of the actual law and blast her for it. Then she'll probably go, ma'am. But that's just her. And I'm not attacking her on the personal level, but just based on her merits or her fruit of her labor. Just to make that clear to all my listeners out there. But the only way the only way he could have destroy the healthcare crisis was to repeal the Health Maintenance Organization Act of 1973. That's it. You don't need the ACA. But a good thing about it, many of the states within the U.S. have nullified it. And a lot of it's by the people themselves. So, because that's what the 10th Amendment is, states' rights. And that's coming back a little bit stronger, little by little. And I recommend the states that do it, every state within the union should take the initiative on petitioning and questioning the ACA. And if you know it's not going to be good for you or for your state, nullify it. Because Obama and his cohorts in Washington doesn't revolve around them. They should revolve around us. Okay. Last but not least, but this is pretty cool. This is from Natural News. That's right, Mike Adams himself. Real good article. Actually, it's done by Julie Watson. It's entitled Homemade Dog Treats. How to make your own, save a bundle, and improve your dog's health. Most of the world has awoken to the dangerous genetically modified organisms, GMOs, seeking healthier choices such as organic, all-natural, and gluten-free. The healthy food movement has burgeoned. From a trend to a necessity, and for many has become a way of life. Processed foods produced by Monsanto's close friends, including big brands like PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, General Mills, Kraft Foods, are primarily composed of harmful ingredients, including dangerous preservatives, chemically induced artificial colorings, GMOs, canola oil, high fructose corn syrup, and aspartame. Unfortunately, when it comes to pet foods, most commercial companies are using many of the same harmful ingredients. Follow the instruction of GM corn and soy on the market. Throughout the mid-1990s, the number of dogs reported suffering a specific cluster of health problems increased, according to Natural Awakenings. There's a link to that too. It's also become evident from discussion among veterinarians and dog owners that such health problems occurred more often among dogs eating pet food that include GM crops than those consuming food produced from conventional crops. Some of the conditions reported to increase among dogs include allergies, asthma, skin problems, leaky gut syndrome, inflammatory bowel disease, recurrent diarrhea, indigestion, and abnormalities. Abnormalities in the liver, the pancreas, and the immune system functions. Ensuring a better healthier and longer life for your pet is totally doable. It simply requires removing some of the toxins from the diet, which isn't as daunting as you might think. Refining your pet's diet will require patience, but if you're already riding the health food train, the journey will be easier. While healthy dogs and cats food does exist, it can be difficult to find and costly. When deciding to purchase pet food, look for brands made in the USA that are USDA certified, organic, free of soy, corn, wheat, and gluten-free whenever possible. Depending on your dog's conditions, you may or may not want to buy foods containing grain. Debate lingers over whether dogs can properly digest grains. Some say that it improves digestion for dogs, while others attribute corn, wheat, and soy to pet allergies and skin irritation. If you want to eliminate the hunt, reduce your expenses, and avoid deciphering ingredients trying to make your own healthy pet treats. Dogs love peanut butter, so it is surprised that peanut butter cookies rank in the high of the list of doggy treats. Make these tasty treats at home in an easy way to incorporate fish oil in their diet to help improve your dog's coat, make it shinier and softer. Money Crashers, your guide to financial fitness, offer great recipes for tasty to easy make treats. Start with these ingredients to make sure to buy organic when possible. 2 cups of flour, white or wheat if your pup has no wheat allergies. 1 cup of rolled oats, 1/3 cup of smooth peanut butter, 1 tablespoon of honey, 1/2 tablespoon of fish oil, and 1.5 cups of water. Directions: preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Mix the flour and oats together in a large mixing bowl. Pour in 1 cup of water and blend until smooth. Add the peanut butter, honey, and fish oil and mix until all the ingredients are well blended. Slowly add the water until the mixture has a thick, doughy consistency. Lightly flour a cooking surface. Roll the dough onto the cooking surface to create 1/4 inch thick sheet. Use a cookie cutter to create shapes. Place the cookies onto a baking sheet and bake for 40 minutes. Allow cooling completely before feeding. If your dog is suffering from digestive problems, frozen yogurt pop treats can offer relief with the ingredients like protein and calcium. Ingredients: 6 ounce container of plain non-fat frozen yogurt, 1/2 of no sugar added fruit juice, and 1/2 cup of carrots minced. Directions: add the yogurt, fruit juice, and carrots into a medium-sized bowl. Stir until the ingredients are smooth and well blended. Drop the mixture into the ice cube trays by the spoonful. Freeze the ingredients are solid. Pro tip: use hard plastic trays instead of softer rubber ones to make the treats. The treats are easy to remove from a hard tray. Chicken casserole is another popular pick, filled with protein and veggies. Just like humans, veggies make your pet feel full and help facilitate digestion. Ingredients for chicken breast: 1/2 cup of green beans chopped, 1/2 cup of carrots chopped, 1/2 cup of broccoli chopped, 1/2 cup rolled oats, 4 cups of low salt chicken broth. Direction: remove excess fat from the chicken breast and cut the breast into small nickel-sized chunks. Cook the chicken breast in a non-stick skillet over medium heat until no longer pink. Add chicken, vegetables, rolled oats, and chicken broth into a large pot and cook over the medium heat until the carrots are tender, about 15 minutes. Allow to cool before serving. Store leftover casseroles portions in the fridge for up to 5 days. Pro tip: you can use a small amount of olive oil to fry the chicken if you're having trouble keeping the chicken breast from sticking to the skillet. For more healthy recipes, click here. So they got a lot more. You got a good amount of sources here as well. And I think that's pretty damn cool. Now I will say this, my friends. Always got to read the ingredients too from what you buy. But if you can make these doggy treats, that's awesome. And give your pet some love, man. Like love yourself. You love your pets, love yourself. Okay, that's the way it should be. So they're gonna add this to my Spreaker page as well. And I know it's a little bit shorter than what I did before, but it's all good. I'd like to thank everyone for taking the chance of listening to the show. And plus, you could send your comments, information. Don't matter, positive, negative, it's all good. You get me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, iHeartRadio, World Truth. I gotta get that thing going. I got YouTube back on again, so I just figured out how to get everything all at one shot. So everything's, I'm still an amateur at this. Practice makes perfect, right? Okay, well, that's it for now. And from my traditional closing statement or quote: demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate societies. Until next time, take care of yourselves, keep on spreading the love, and may your guardian spirits be with you.